One great feature within Portara is the data tools feature for strategy and robustness testing, and you use the data tools once the main compression streams have been run from within Portara, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. You might think to yourself, well, why do I need to use data tools and what is this all about? And it depends exactly on what systems you are using to trade. But one significant issue is that of volatility and how your systems stand up to increases in the volatility and also decreases in the volatility, and just how significant that is for your trading. And if you look here, you can sort of stretch and play around with the volatility, and we'll look at that in a minute. We can triple the volatility in a particular set of underlying instruments, or we can reduce that volatility right down. We can randomize the opens and closes. And if you've got a system which is prone to a volatility off the open style, so you're looking for opens, you might want to say, well, look, let's randomize some data here and see what the significance of where that open is. You can do it on the close or you can do it on the open. It's entirely up to you. Now, you can choose to crop bars from the session open. You can do this here, or you can do it within the main streams within Portara chart in the compression managers, but there is another overlay in here. So you might create a series of different data sets where you've cropped one and then 2 bars from the open, or 3, and whatever it is you need, and then you can see how significant cropping these bars off the open are to your system models. You can also, of course, do that on the close to suit what you need and produce data sets therewith. Okay, now just bear in mind that the volatility in the random opens and closes, the first model at the top here, you can use this for intraday data and also for daily data models as well. But the other 2 further down, the middle set here and the bottom set for mirrored data, which is a very funky thing. Whether that's useful to you or not remains to be seen, but it is there. The second one here and the third group here are for intraday data only. So if you're trying to test with daily, you can't crop bars from the daily. There's only 1 bar and you can't mirror the data like that. So it is only for intraday usage. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at some data and we'll demonstrate that for you. So let's create some data. We shall open the role manager and we shall roll some actual contracts together to form some streams, and I've chosen 5 there. The FTSE from Johannesburg, an Australian market, quite exotic here. Live cattle from Brazil. There's the French bond, and I've chosen the Brazilian real forex symbol as well. So let's just roll those. And once that's complete, we'll open the intraday compression manager, drag that in, and we'll create some 5-minute data there. And then some daily data with regular trading hours. Click. Okay, let's take a look now at that data. Okay, let's analyze that, move that along, pull some data in. What we'll do is we'll take a look at the 5-minute data and ALSI. We'll take a look at ALSI because that's got no decimal points in. So that's going to be a little bit easier to look at on the eye. So let's leave that there. We'll open up the data tools facility and drag that in, and you simply, I've already done it there, but you just sort of point to the data. If you want the whole to convert all the files in the input directory, you can. You just click on there or not. We'll leave that on. And then what we'll do is we'll look at volatility here, and let's keep off the randomization just so we can check that out. And we'll push that volatility up to 200%. That should do, and we're gonna run that off. So there it goes, and it's completed. And then if we now look into here, there should be another folder formed, data tools somewhere. Am I lost? There it is, data tools, and in we go. And if we just open ALSI and run that alongside, we can now see by comparing the two files. If we just look at the top line only, just for the sake of this, we can see there, and we look at the high and the low rather than focus on the open. There's the high and the low of the original file. So we've got 43622, and if we look at the high and the low in here, we've got 43681, which is higher, which is what we want, and then 43504, which is lower than the low. And then the opens are the same proportion, and the close in each and every case. The volatility is set around movements from the midpoint between the high and the low. Okay, if we look at another way of doing this, we can choose, you can choose both if you wish, but for the sake of this, we'll randomize the open. Again, you might have a volatility off open style system that you're testing to see the significance of the open price, if that's useful to you. So we just run it, and then what we'll do is we shall, if I can find the folder, it's all hidden from view. Just hang on 1 second. It's hidden from view, the usual, when you're trying to do a presentation. Okay, and if we open ALSI again and pull that across, and we now see that we've got 43622 and 43563, which are correct, but we'll notice now that the original 43563 is randomized between the high and the low of the day. Okay, so they're guaranteed to be within the trading. They won't be above the high or below the low. All right, and this works even in negative series, such as if you go back on some grey markets like soy meal a long time, the series can go negative. It works there too. Okay, I'll show you a couple more features with data tools, and let me drag that in. And if we look to crop the bar off the session, and we look to do that, hang on, crop bars from session, and what we'll do is we'll just chop one bar off the open and one bar off the close, and we'll just do it for ALSI and run that, and it's done. And then we take a look behind there at ALSI, double click that file, and we can see now the 830 bar was the opening bar in the file, and now it's 835, and the closing bar in that particular day, I'm trying to find it, is 1725, and you'll find that it's now, because we've chopped that, it's down to 1720. So this is a good way, especially if if you have a look at data tools, you could sort of organize in the different folders to hold this data, and then you could go and test each and every one of them to see the significance of that towards your testing and your back testing needs. I'm not going to do this now, but you could do this exactly the same with daily data for the volatility and the random open and closes. So if you're predominantly testing with daily regular trading hours data, it just adds another layer of ability from within Portara charts. Okay, thank you.